for a sign to say we're live. Good morning, folks. We're live this morning, as usual. As you know, we're live every weekday at 7:30 a.m. on YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So thanks very much for joining me this morning. Really appreciate it. Really do. We're just putting our Instagram account live as well. Because Instagram, we have to put live separately. So that's now done. So fantastic Thursday morning out there. I'm looking at the window. The sun is shining again. There's no rain. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic day. And anyone out there who's on the way to work or on the train, on the bike, or in the car, thanks so much for joining me this morning. As you know, we've been doing this every weekday morning since the 6th of January. So if you've missed any of the shows and you want information on crisis management, goal setting, using a whiteboard, cash flow management, all that types of good stuff, all you have to do is go onto our Instagram, our YouTube channel at Mind's Eye Education, and it's all there. Okay, and don't forget, it costs nothing. Just hit the follow button or the subscribe button, because then when we put up free training videos and all that, you'll get them. So just hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it if you do. One thing I want to talk about this morning is filling other people's shoes. An awful lot of people, and I've seen it an awful lot when I've done promotions for people, and maybe you've seen yourself. And when people get a new job or a new promotion, they always feel that they have to fill the other person's shoes. They always feel that they have to act like the other person used to act in that role. And we've seen it for managing directors, we've seen it for financial controllers, in sales directors and sales managers, and even in team leaders and stuff like that. That when you promote someone, you're promoting them because you believe they can do the job, and they can do the job well, and based on their past experience and things they've done already, and a track record. But an awful lot of people, when you promote them into a role, not a new role, into a role that someone else had before them, one of the first things they always do is try and fill someone else's shoes. They really do. They believe they have to act like that other person acted and behave in the same way, because maybe that worked for that person, and that's how that person did so well in that job, and maybe has moved on to a bigger job, and they feel that they must do the same thing, which isn't true. Because really, we all wear our own shoes. We really do. And we all need to fill our own shoes. If you get a promotion, you're getting it because of who you are. And you need to bring your own style and your own approach to that role, not someone else's. I've met many entrepreneurs over the years, and they all try and be someone else. Maybe they want to be tried with like Dennis O'Brien or Michael O'Leary or Richard Branson, or Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. They all try and act like someone else. But see, they forget they're not that person. That person has done well in their role because of circumstances relating to them, not relating to you. So that person has done extremely well in that role because of the circumstances they found themselves in. Michael O'Leary has done extremely well because of the circumstances he found himself in with Ryanair and from the early days and developing all that business. But you get people coming along, and especially young entrepreneurs who are trying to start the business, you can tell by their demeanor that they're trying to be someone else. They're not trying to be themselves. They're trying to act bigger than they are, or maybe bolder than they are, or maybe louder than they are. But that's not them. That's not them. So, and I always say to people, when you start your own business and you're doing your own thing, be yourself. Fill your own shoes. Don't feel like you have to fill someone else's shoes. And the same if you get a promotion in work. Don't feel that if you've got a promotion in work and you're taking over someone else's role because maybe they've moved on, but that person in that role before you were very successful in that role and left an impression in that role of the things they've done and the legacy they've left behind. Don't feel you have to be that person. You don't. You have to be yourself. And more people fall down. Thanks, Tricia, for liking all my for like doing all the likes this morning. Really appreciate it. Most people feel, and most people fall down because they try and be who they're not. They try and be someone else in the new role. They really do, but they forget one of the reasons they've got that promotion or got that new role is because of the work they've done in the past, that track record. So the track record is not the same as the marketing director or the sales director or the team leader that you're taking over from or whoever you're taking over from. You're getting the role because of who you are as an individual. And that's very, very important to remember. And I've seen many people come unstuck when they try and be who they're not. I really have. And I've seen the challenge when I say young entrepreneurs are first-time entrepreneurs, is that they're trying to find their feet. First of all, they may get a bit hazy in the head because now they're their own boss and they're leading their own company. Now, it may be just them. It may be just them in the company. They may be the only person, right? Because it's early days. It's just the first day, the first week, the first month, the first 6 months of the company. It's early days, right? But they get carried away with the title entrepreneur or self-employed or business owner or the boss. They get carried away with that title rather than focusing on the business in hand, doing what they have to do. And that's why I always say to people, fill your own shoes. Be yourself. Don't try and be someone else in business. I met someone yesterday who's having a tough time in business, extremely tough time. Very, very nice chap. He's working extremely hard to make the business go. And I had to say to him that, like, you will see other businesses out there doing extremely well very quickly, maybe in the same industry you are. But that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. You don't know why they're doing well quicker than you are. You don't know. And again, it's all about circumstances. Maybe the person who's doing better than you, who started business at the same time, maybe they had a lead in. Maybe they already had contacts in the industry. Maybe they have more money behind them than you have. Maybe they have more knowledge in a certain part of that industry, which is helping them develop their business. You don't know. So fill your own shoes. Don't try and be someone else. There's no point. And the same as when you get a promotion. If you get a promotion, and I've seen people who become managing directors or CEOs of companies and have moved up the ranks, and they feel because the last CEO had a certain type of style, or a certain type of image, or a certain type of approach, or back to a certain type of culture, that they have to do all that. That they have to repeat themselves in that person's image. And the reality is you don't. You really don't. You've got the job because of who you are. And make your own mark on the industry. Make your own mark on the company. Make your own mark on the culture. Make your own mark on the role. Develop it for you, not for someone else. And it does take people a while to realize that. And sometimes it takes an older maybe mentor or an older board member or an older friend to say to them, look, you're trying too hard. Why are you trying too hard? You can do this. You have the skill set to do it. You have the experience to do it. You have the know-it-all to do it. Why are you trying so hard to be like the last person? And that's why you see so much speculation around, like when Michael O'Leary retires, who will take over from them? Will they have the same demeanor? Will they have the same attitude? Will they have the same approach to the industry? And the answer, realistically, is probably no. And maybe the company doesn't need someone like that again. Maybe the time has come. They need someone with a different skill set and a different approach to a role to continue the growth of the company. And And that's again why I say, don't be trying to fill someone else's shoes. Fill your own. You're wearing your own. Fill your own. Okay? That's really important. It really is. And when you start your own business, don't try and be Richard Branson, Dennis O'Brien, Michael O'Leary, Elon Musk. Don't try and be these people. Try and be yourself. Bring your own character to the role, your own enthusiasm, your own approach. Bring all that to the role, because you have your own story. Everyone has their own story, and when you bring your own story to the role, well, then the role will grow. You'll grow, and everyone will do well from it. So just remember that. Bring your own story and yourself to the role. And it makes a difference what the role is, or how senior, how junior is. It really makes no difference. Just because you've been promoted, or you're in a new role, and the last person went around as if they owned the whole building, or the last person went around as if they knew everything, or they were loud or whatever, doesn't mean you have to be like that. You have to be yourself, because you want to leave your own mark on everything. Sorry, I'm having a drop of my hot honey. So if anybody has any comments on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Instagram, TikTok, just put it in the comments. If you want to tell me where you're listening from, even better, put it in the comments. I really appreciate it. So I know I'm not just talking to myself. I know I'm not on TikTok. On some of the other channels, it's hard to know who's there, who's not there. I could be talking into an abyss. But so that's what I want you to think about this morning. If you are starting a new role, if you just have got that promotion, or you've just been told you're getting promoted, fantastic, well done, congratulations. That is absolutely brilliant. But bring yourself to the role. Bring yourself to the role. That's important. I think that's something that you should keep in mind, right? Because when you move on to the next role, wouldn't it be nice for people to say, Mark, John, Mary, Elaine, Frank, whatever, was in this role before, and they did it a certain way and it worked so well. And then maybe someone tried to copy you, and hopefully you will leave a note, or you will tell the person who's taken over your role, look, put your own stamp on it. Do your own way. Bring your own style to it. Do it the way that makes you happy, makes you comfortable, makes you secure. Bring it yourself that brings results in your way. So if you are starting your own business, or you're running your own business and things are tough, and you're looking around thinking other people are doing well, other people are flying along, here's the reality is, you don't know whether they are. Everyone puts up a front. Everyone tries to make it look like they're in someone else's shoes, right? Everyone puts up a front. But the reality is, as we always say to people, and I say to people, it's like marriages. You never know what what is happening behind the hall door. And it's the same in business. You never know what's happening behind the office door. You never know what struggles there are. You never know what's holding that person back, or what that person is facing on a day-to-day basis. You just don't know. Just because you meet someone who drives up to you in a fancy car and with a big smile on their face and in a nice suit and jacket, don't assume their business is flying. Don't be thinking, I'd rather be in their shoes than my shoes. Because maybe if you get into their shoes, you will realize the problems, the challenges, the struggles that they're facing on a daily basis, that they may be much bigger than yours. Someone just said, I love the jacket. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. That their problems and their challenges may be 10 times bigger than yours. Just are very good at hiding it. So be comfortable. Be very comfortable in your own shoes. Be very comfortable on who you are and what you're bringing to the party and what you're bringing to the world and what you're bringing to your business. Be very comfortable in that. And if you do think you lack knowledge in certain areas and somebody else in another company or another role has more knowledge than you, well, buy a book, Get onto YouTube. Educate yourself. You don't have to be someone else. You just don't have to be someone else. Just get comfortable on who you are. And that's what I say to anyone running their own business. Forget about everybody else out there. Forget about how other people are doing. Forget about the perception of how people are doing. Focus on your own business. Focus on your own path. Focus on your own journey. That's what you need to do. Once you do that, once you're focused on that journey, focus on your challenges, focus on the walls you have to climb over. Once you're focused on all that, then you will succeed. And yes, there will be major challenges ahead. And yes, companies do close down. Yes, entrepreneurs do go out of business. Hey, I should know, right? So, and yes, bad things happen to good people. But also good things happen to good people, right? You just have to keep going. Keep moving forward. Don't look back and keep wearing your own shoes, and don't be wishing to wear someone else's shoes. Because if that wish comes true, and maybe, just maybe, the worst thing that has ever happened to you. That's me for this morning. Thanks very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, if you want to catch up on any of our past shows, they're all on YouTube. And our YouTube channel is @MindsEyeEducation. Do subscribe. It's completely free. But we've loads of good, fantastic training videos with all these shows. We've about 35, nearly 40 shows up there now at the moment on our YouTube channel, covering everything from crisis management, cash flow management, sales, marketing, all that type of stuff. We've covered a whole ream of stuff. So just have a look. And if you're listening on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, hit the follow button, or TikTok. It doesn't cost any money, but at least then when we go live every weekday morning or we put up a new video, then you get to know about it, and a message will go out to you. Okay, so thanks very much for joining me this morning. I've got a very busy day ahead of me. If you do want to meet up with me, you do want to have a coffee, do want to discuss your business, I just heard Chuck coming in here saying he's now got. He told me a few weeks ago he was looking for a location for a coffee shop, and he said he got his location for a coffee shop in Skerries and is opening in May, and that's Leon 777. Absolutely fantastic. Well done. He's got his location. He's got his building. He's opening his coffee shop. He's becoming self-employed, working for himself, doing it for himself, doing it for his family. Absolutely fantastic. Well done. Make sure you let me know when it's opening. I'll be down there to buy a cup of coffee without a doubt. I love Skerries, great part of the world. May the sun will be shining. It'll be brilliant. Well done. That's how I love hearing success stories. I love hearing people going out there, finding locations, finding businesses, starting from scratch, and putting the hopes and dreams into it and working, and hopefully it will go fantastic for them. And don't forget, just before you open the shop, let me know the name of it, where it is, so we can tell everyone who's listening this morning. So good morning, folks. Hope you all have a great day. Don't forget, as I said, if you want to meet up with me, all you have to do is spend €4, buy me a cup of coffee, see can I help your business. If I can, I can. If I can't, I can't. If you're one of my friends from abroad, if you're one of my friends from Dubai, America, Finland, with an awful lot of listeners from Finland, then we can do a virtual coffee. Just email me, markbeggs@gmail.com, or just send me a personal message on Instagram or on TikTok or on Facebook or on LinkedIn. Make sure you follow me on LinkedIn, and I will come back to you. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Good luck.